Amid all the attention grabbed by the fake Bhutanese refugee case, the Supreme Court yesterday upheld the life imprisonment slapped by the lower courts against former lawmaker Resham Lal Chaudhary involved in the infamous 2015 Tikapur lynching. Following the development, speculations are rife over whether Nagarik Unmukti Party, a part of the coalition government, will withdraw its support to the government, as Resham's release was the minimum point of understanding reached by the party to extend its support to the government. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Bangladesh to procure 50 megawatts of electricity from Nepal, a tripartite meeting on the cards to persuade India for the use of transmission lines. It's Madan Ashrit Memorial Day today, 30 years since the incident. Das Dhunga episode still shrouded in mystery. Ecuador begins an impeachment hearing against President Guillermo Lasso, alleged of corruption involving a state-owned oil transport company. And Lucknow Super Giants snatch a nail-biting 5-run win over Mumbai Indians to consolidate playoff chances. Mohsin shines with the ball for Lucknow. Bangladesh will be importing 50 megawatts of electricity from Nepal. Bangladesh inked an agreement with Nepal at the secretary-level energy meet between the two countries in Dhaka to purchase 50 megawatts of electricity from Nepal. As Nepal's electricity has to go through the Indian transmission lines to reach Bangladesh, the two countries also reached an agreement to call a trilateral meeting to convince India. By exporting electricity to Bangladesh via India, power trading is expected to start from this season. Discussions were also held at the 5th Nepal-Bangladesh Secretary-level energy meet to construct a dedicated electricity transmission line between the two countries. An agreement between Nepal and Bangladesh was reached last August to test the flow of 50 megawatts of electricity to Bangladesh. CPN-UML and CPN Unified Socialist are celebrating Madan Ashrit Memorial Day today by organizing various programs. CPN-UML's then General Secretary Madan Bhandari and the party's organization department head Jivraj Ashrit had died in the Das Dhunga incident 30 years ago. Bhandari and Ashrit were remembered at the program held in Kathmandu this morning on the occasion of their Memorial Day. Former President and Madan Bhandari's wife, Bidya Devi Bhandari, offered a flower garland on the statue of her husband at the function. Speakers at the program talked about the people's multi-party democracy and Madan Bhandari's contributions to CPN-UML. The incident in which Madan Bhandari and Jivraj Ashrit were killed 30 years ago has been taken as a car accident. CPN-UML has been calling the incident a mysterious murder. However, despite leading the government on several occasions, the party has not shown any interest to investigate the incident to bring out the truth. The Supreme Court has upheld the decision of Kailali District Court and Dipayal High Court, which had slapped a life sentence to Resham Chaudhary over his involvement in the 2015 Tikapur massacre. The Supreme Court, in its final hearing yesterday, upheld the verdict of the district and high courts. The joint bench of Supreme Court Justices Ananda Mohan Bhattrai and Nahakul Subedi upheld the verdict of life sentence to Chaudhary. The apex court has meanwhile reduced the jail term of Lakshman Tharu to 3 years from 5. Meanwhile, Sitaram Chaudhary and Gangaram Chaudhary have been acquitted. The Supreme Court also upheld the decision of the lower court, which had offered life in prison to Hari Narayan Chaudhary, Shravan Chaudhary, Ramkumar Katharia and Pradeep Chaudhary. 8 security personnel, including Senior Superintendent of Police Lakshman Neopane and a toddler, were killed in the massacre during the protest for Tharuhat province after the demarcation of provinces on 24th of August 2015. The Kailali District Court had slapped a life sentence on 11 individuals, including Resham Chaudhary, on 24th of February 2019 when he was on the run. Chaudhary had filed his candidacy for the election of the House of Representatives in 2017 and had won while he was still absconding. 13 months later, he had taken the oath of office in secrecy from police custody. On 18th of December 2020, the High Court Dipayal upheld the life sentence on 8 individuals, including Resham Chaudhary. Following this, Chaudhary moved the Supreme Court against the verdict of the Kailali District Court and the High Court on 24th of February 2021. The entity formed under his leadership, Nagarik Unmukti Party, is currently in the government. The Supreme Court has issued an interim order barring the government from implementing the Cabinet's decision to provide compensation amount to disqualified Maoist combatants. A single bench of Justice Kumar Regmi issued the interim order as hearing took place on the writ filed by Advocate Gyanendra Aran, among others, seeking a stay order on the government decision. The Supreme Court has also issued a show cause notice in the name of the government. Writ petitioners and government representatives have been summoned for a hearing scheduled for 22nd of May this Monday. More disclosures have been made as the investigation on the Bhutanese refugee scam nears its final stage. The latest report has revealed that fake details of 1,017 individuals had been forged. Apart from the initial 429 fake Bhutanese refugees enlisted by the Ministry of Home Affairs, a list of additional 1,017 forged identities prepared by the mediators have come to the fore. The Ministry of Home Affairs had corresponded with the District Administration Office for certification after it found error in the 429 forged identities verified by the joint team of Nepal and the UNHCR. However, former Secretary of the Home Ministry, Tek Naran Pandey, had directed for the inclusion of the names that had been missing in the list. Sources of the Ministry of Home Affairs say that none of those among the 1,017 individuals were genuine Bhutanese refugees. The names verified by the UNHCR have been included in the list of 429 forged identities. Police on Monday had interrogated various officials of the Ministry of Home Affairs and former Secretary Tek Naran Pandey, who has admitted of his involvement. Likewise, the investigation has revealed that Pandey had provided the original report prepared by Balkrishna Panthi to the mediators. Panthi was the coordinator of the working committee that was formed to look into the list of Bhutanese refugees. Likewise, the ministry has made preparations to submit to the police the report by former Secretary Prem Kumar Rai regarding the formation of the working committee. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what role can lawmakers play in preventing corruption and maintaining good governance. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
भ्रष्टाचार भइहाले पनि यी कुराहरु चाहिँ अब संसदीय दलमा उठ्नु पर्यो.
भ्रष्टाचार गरिरहेको मान्छेलाई कारबाहीको दायरामा ल्याउने र कारबाही चाहिँ पूर्ण रूपमा हुनुपर्छ.
उहाँहरु भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त हुनु पर्यो र संसदीय दलमा पनि उहाँहरुले भ्रष्टाचार निर्मूल गर्नका निमित्त सुरु गर्नु पर्यो.
कानुनको प्रक्रिया चाहिँ अलिकति डरसँग गर्ने हो नि यो चाहिँ क्रमशः घट्दै जान्छ.
इमानदार र ऐन कानुनलाई कागजमा मात्र नभई सीमित उहाँहरुले व्यवहारमा पनि लागू गर्नुपर्छ.
Honesty, dedication, transparency. हर क्षेत्रमा हुनु पर्यो.
आफ्नो पराय नभनिकन भ्रष्टाचारलाई कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ भनेर एउटै आवाज उठाउनुपर्छ संसदमा.
कुनै मान्छेले पनि भ्रष्टाचार गर्ने हिम्मत नगरोस् त्यस्तो खाले कानुन बनाउनु पर्छ.
भ्रष्टाचार विरुद्ध चाहिँ एकदमै कडा नियम लागू गर्नु पर्यो.
कानुन बनाउँदाखेरि यो भ्रष्टाचारलाई न्यूनीकरण गर्न सकिन्छ, भ्रष्टाचारीहरूलाई कारबाही गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने बारेमा संसदीय समितिले पनि सोध्नु पर्यो.
We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. Bagmati province is projected to record the lowest economic growth in the ongoing fiscal year. The highest contribution to the province's GDP has been from the service sector. However, the reduction in the wholesale and retail sector has affected its overall growth. Based on a report released by the National Statistics Office yesterday, the province is expected to record an economic growth of 1.4%, which was expected to be 6.3%. The federal government had estimated the province's growth would be 1.8% through its report released earlier. Gandaki province, meanwhile, is expected to make the highest 3.3% growth in the ongoing fiscal year. Karnali is expected to record a growth of 1.9%, Sudur Pashchim 1.8%, Koshi 2%, Madhesh 1.7%, and Lumbini 2.1%. The highest contribution to the country's economy, however, is from Bagmati province at 37%. Karnali has the lowest contribution at 4%. While the country's per capita income is $1,399, Bagmati province has the highest per capita income at $2,455. The lower per capita income is in Madhya province at $875. Karnali has the second lowest per capita income. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What should be done to financially strengthen the provinces? Your options are A. Emphasis on industrialization, B. Modernization of agriculture, and C. Autonomy on resources. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international update. Ecuador's National Assembly has begun an impeachment hearing against President Guillermo Lasso, who stands accused of corruption with regard to an embezzlement scheme involving a state-owned oil transport company. But the hearings, which launched yesterday, could trigger a potentially explosive showdown between the president and the country's unicameral legislature. Experts have speculated that Lasso could invoke a never-before-used constitutional clause known as two-way death, which would allow him to both dissolve the legislature and end his presidency. Speaking to the legislators yesterday, Lasso maintained he was guilty of no wrongdoing. At issue in yesterday's hearing was Lasso's decision not to intervene to end an embezzlement scheme between the state-owned oil transport company Flota Petrolera Ecuatoriana and private entity Amazonas Tankers. Opponents say the scheme cost the state millions in losses and is part of a pattern of corruption within the administration. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. It's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Inter Milan reached the Champions League final for the first time in 13 years as Lautaro Martinez's goal sealed victory over fierce rivals AC Milan at San Siro. Leading 2-0 after the first leg and on a 7-match winning streak, Inter Milan were well fancied to complete the job, and they could well have done so in the opening 45 minutes as Edin Dzeko forced Mike Maignan into a brilliant save before the break. AC Milan had one big early chance themselves, but Brahim Diaz wasted the opportunity when he was completely free in the box. Inter had starved Milan of encouragement in a largely uneventful second half before Martinez squeezed the ball under Maignan and into the bottom corner with 16 minutes remaining to send the Inter fans into raptures. The full-time whistle was greeted by a deafening noise as Inter's first shot at Champions League glory since their 2010 success was confirmed. Three-time winners Inter Milan will face either Manchester City or Real Madrid in the Champions League final in Istanbul on 10th of June. Manchester City will host Real Madrid in the second leg match tonight after the two teams settled for a 1-1 draw in Madrid last week. And it's time now for the weather update. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.